Hello everyone, welcome back to the final of the ESL Go4GW2 Cup number 27. I have Mr. Divok with me as well, and we have a spiffing final for you today. Who have we got? I can't help you. I can't hear you, apparently.
There we go, that's why you can hear.
Oh, you did a nick on me.
And we do have the somewhat classic matchup of oRNG versus Salt, Your Goose is Cooked, which we've been seeing quite a few times over the last few weeks, and it can go absolutely any way. I'm pretty sure the first time I saw this, Salt would magically beat oRNG, and it was unheard of, and it was fantastic. And the next week, oRNG won, and then the next week it was Salt. So who knows what's going to happen this week? Only time shall tell.
Indeed. We are going to jump in game, see who we've got here, and I'm just going to let them know they can ready up.
When they have 5 people.
Indeed, that would also be quite useful. Although today, you know, we've had a bit of an experience of potentially that not happening. Who knows? It's the final, anything can happen. We're not going to see 5 shoutbows coming out from Orange logo as we did on the Weekly Cup. Things are a bit more serious today, as we are playing for the money, of course, as well as some gems potentially for second place. But with whoever loses this game, of course. But we will also be getting some pointage for the cups as well. So first team, let's just remind ourselves of how many points each team can get. First place gets 100 Go4 points as well as 400 euros. Second place gets 60. They get 100 euros plus 2,000 gems per player. Then we see third position taking up 40 gems and 40 points and also 40 gems. Wow. What can 40 gems get you? Not much. It can't even get you a key. 2,000 gems for each player for third place. Fourth place picks up 40. 5 to 8 gets 25 points, and a 9 to 16 picks up 10. So everyone's got 10 points so far. They can check out their leaderboard positions tomorrow when that gets updated. Also, don't forget to check out the NA Cup, which is happening later today as well. And I think we're just waiting for one person to ready up. No, we're waiting for everyone. Absolutely everyone's already up. But other than that, we are looking forward to seeing who's going to pick up this final and have a lead of 40 points in the first round for the WTS Qualifier Invitational, which is what all these points are going for towards, of course. We don't see TCG obviously this week at the moment, but we will see them in the future participating as well, if in case any of you are missing them and missing their loveliness. That's the word I'll use.
So do we want to go over the builds of Salt? I mean, we can quickly go over the oRNG builds for those that missed them, but we saw them last round, so I'll let you decide which group you want to look over.
Oh, you can go over Salt. You've been going for blue team very well today, so you might as well start with those.
Okay. I've been feeling very blue today, luckily, just in terms of the colour, not in terms of the mood. I'm certainly quite perky in terms of mood. So, starting off the Night Junior before I get any more crazy.
It's like you cast it with me, I think I just spread it. Either that or you were crazy.
Nick used to be a very calm and very caring and lovely person. He's still caring and lovely. But
he used to be. I'm sure he must still be. Nothing much has changed in the past 3 days, I hope. Well, I don't know. I haven't heard much from him, so maybe it has.
And maybe he's calm again. Anyway, Frostball is going to be our Mesmer. Everyone knows this guy. He is very well known for making incredible plays on his Mesmer, and so look forward to seeing him using the Sword and Torch and not the Staff on this map. Like I keep saying, it can be a bit strange, but it's entirely up to personal preference and what you think the matchup needs. Then we have Kava. His build is somewhat well known amongst players. He isn't taking the Speedy Kits route, he's going for the Protection route, so instead of taking 4 points in tools, you move them to inventions. You get Power Shoes for the 25 base movement speed increase instead of Speedy Kits. But it also means you don't get as much Vigor, but you do get 2 sources of protection. So he's going to be able to sustain a lot better in terms of receiving damage. And then also he's running with the Bomb Kit, Grenade Kit, and Elixir Gun.
So a taste
Then
skin.
going over to Tayskin, yeah, as that's apparently how you say his name. Tayskin, who would have been part of the Pwn team who didn't turn up today. I assume because he's standing in for these guys instead. He's also going to be playing Engineer, and this is a condition-based Engineer. So this is something we often see in the ESL 2v2 tournaments, for any of you that are involved in those. We see these at least 3 or 4, maybe even 10 times every single week. So they're going to be running with the Rune of Balthazar and the Rabbit Amulet, and this one's going for the 60062 trait spread, so not going for the cooldown in pistol, but instead going for extra protection with protection injection. It's going to be using the standard utilities and whatnot there. Then last but not least, we have Honey. We all know and love Honey. She's our somewhat main staff elementalist in the current ESL meta, running with the pirate runes and your standard elementalist staff traits. Also not picking up the Vio Greatsword, going for the Glyph of Elementals as well to allow for that bit of extra support, and in terms of the water one, and more 1v1 potential if she decides to go for those side nodes.
So what we're missing here on the blue team today is Trebex, the thief, obviously, who's been replaced for today by Tayskin. So yeah, that's a big change. That big kind of pain train combination of those two is so essential for how sort of kind of evolved over the last couple of months, especially. Obviously they're very important, but every single member of the team is very important. So, and they all do a good job. Carver's very good at getting those decaps on the far and close nodes, of course, like you said about the protection. Especially when you pick up bombs, picking up that protection is good because you're kind of planting yourself in an area. People, they will try and focus the node fights more often than not. Whereas obviously oRNG Logo are focusing more on the off-point fighting, getting those kills, and then moving on to the nodes to cap them. If blue team can hold them on the points and get the kills and actually single out ROM away from the team fights, I think they could possibly win this, actually.
I wouldn't be so sure. Have you seen
I don't know, though.
The lineup they have over on oRNG?
Oh, good lord. Okay, we're switching things up. Just change their minds. Yeah, well, this is going to be the problem now, isn't it? If Rom's on his own somewhere else, Frey can actually get involved as well. Okay, let's just go over their builds. As soon as I said that, I was thinking in my head, don't look at the red team. Don't look at them. But good thing you did. Syndroneer is going to be playing DP Thief. He's going to be going for the Panic Strike variation of this build. Engineer as well. Nothing much changing from him as he goes. He's going to be playing on the Engineer, of course, with the rifle and the Celestial build, going for the whole brack. Then we're going to go over to Rom, who's playing a Shout Bow Warrior. No, not even putting 1 point into strength. One of them maybe could, but they're not opting for that. They're actually going to go both for the same. Oh no, we saw Frey going for it.
Doing that
again.
I saw that coming.
Jesus Christ! I knew it was gonna. But the thing is, at least I said at least one of them should be doing it. Then went to Frey, and he is. So that's good.
And he is doing it.
And that reckless dodge is the thing we're talking about there, guys. Taking the points out of discipline, putting it there for the extra damage, and then Tage, of course, playing DPS Meditation Hammer Guardian. And I'm going to go through the splits. I believe it's my turn, so we will be doing that. Frey going towards the close for the red team as they come out of the spawn there. We're going to have a bit of an early cross here. Both teams stealth. No one really dropping too much damage out there. Denchinier is, though. He's going to pull them out of stealth with that fourth, with the actual grenades there. He's going to pull out the chill, which is going to be a really good option. They're going to come back, and Tage is going to come back as well. So we're going to see the fight starting to evolve over on this mine point. They did pick up the cap. Carver's going to run onto the node straight away to try and get that decap. Of course, being very effective, dropping that big old bomb. But we can see Frey coming in with a nice dodge, which means he's not going to be taken off node. They're going to keep the cap. And we're just going to see these side point skirmishes now over past the mine. Although we're going to see Frostball really stuck in that situation, going to get the distortion off it. He's going to go down in the end. Look at Syndroneer and Tage pinning him into that corner. Ooh, pain. Pain in the face.
So they are going to take the early advantage here. They're going to try and roll this over to mid, where Rom is already outnumbered, but Denchinier coming in with that crate to support him as well. That is going to keep him going a little bit longer, and of course, he's taking over the stress of holding the point for now. Rom did a fantastic job of holding against Honey, who of course, as a staff elementalist, has plenty of ways to knock him off point. So he held on for that for a very long time, then he got outnumbered, still managing to hold on to it as we see Tage jumping onto Thiskin. Thiskin is going to drop pretty low as the condition engineer. You don't have quite as much survivability as your Celestial rifle, so that's something to watch out for. See how quickly he drops compared to his rifle counterpart, as Tage is now stuck between a bit of a rock and a hard place. Instead of choosing to try and run away from this 2v1, he's actually just going to try and take out Thiskin, as Rom is continuing to hold this point against Honey for the longest period of time.
Teske did a good job there, actually, just as Tage was coming up behind him, using that accelerant top turret to actually knock him back. Comes back onto the node. We're going to see the raise coming out from Frey, and there's the second warrior advantage right there of the banner coming out for him. And we're going to see Rom back up. He's, of course, still got his banner back up. The focus is still on Rom because they know he hasn't used it yet, and they're going to be able to take him out quite easily. Tage goes in for the res. We can see a bit of cleave, and the interrupts coming down as well as Syndrome comes in for the extra res. It's so close. The cleave is really good, and in the end, we're going to see Frostball coming in with that Blurred Frenzy as well. And in the end, so much pressure was brought to the red team that they had to disengage from that, and they're going to go, really stuck there, unfortunately, for the res. But actually, Honey gets pressured quite hard there as well. And Rom actually is going to be over in the Vengeance form at the moment. If you're surprised to see him back up, it's because, you know, if they start to lose this fight, that banner will become very useful very shortly.
Yeah, but sadly the sustain coming out from Honey is going to keep the rest of her team alive. They are going to be able to hold on to this for a little bit longer, and I think Rom will. Yeah, Rom does drop before any more commotion goes on, but he has offered up that extra pressure, and they do have Honey pretty low, they have Frostball pretty low, so they might be able to turn this one around because Cinder is pretty low himself, has to back up and goes up towards the high ground here. Denchinier also pretty low, he's off fighting on the their far node rather. Against Knight Jr., who's also pretty low. So this is a very, very close fight between these two, and it's kept this point contested, which is something else we should mention, is that there's currently only 1 point in this entire game that is capped. That is the blue node of the mine, which is still currently being fought over as well. So we might soon see a complete wipe of 3 no caps.
I'm just kind of surprised to see, normally Knight doesn't get in this 1v1 situation unless he's not got the banner. Sometimes it does, and when it does happen, normally it doesn't go too well. But blue team are actually sticking, they're doing quite a good job. Carver actually gets stuck here though, over on the mine, and he's going to be taken out by Syndrome from behind. They should be able to pick up this point now as Rom jumps onto the node to get the cap. Blue team starting to advance over towards the henge to make sure that point's in their favour in the end, because Denchinier does get taken out from behind by Frostball there. So we're going to see blue team picking up the 2 cap now, picking up their home node as well. Red team picking up theirs, and we're probably going to see them start to regroup shortly as Denchinier starts to actually come out of the respawn as well. And they're just holding for now, being calm and collected before they move out to the rest of the map, which is what they're going to start doing now. A bit of a regroup going on. It's a good idea. See how
I'm surprised to see that with the 1 down on the side of Salt, that oRNG didn't push into middle earlier. They're pushing in now, but there's already a portal coming out. That's going to be able to bring Frostball back onto the node. He was actually scouting for the crossover, didn't see it coming, so used the portal to get back onto mid, knowing that's where they were going. So very nice sort of scouting play coming out from the Mesmer portal there, as he is now raining down hell on top of Frey. Frey's going to be forced to get back, even though he's on Shout Warrior this time rather. No one really able to go in and just stand on this node. They have too much AoE pressure, especially with this Condition Engineer as well. Yes, they do have 2 Shout Bows on the other team, but if you're using your Shouts to cleanse all of those conditions, then the damage that's coming out from the rest of the enemy isn't going to be able to be mitigated quite as well. Sadly, Frostball does fall, Cinder jumping up on there, cleaning him up, so that's going to mitigate a lot of the damage that was coming out from this point, and they do manage to get the decap here. So we're going to be having a 1 cap apiece here, with the main fight of course being on mid between Denchi and Thiskin mainly, but Frey and Knight Jr. are hanging around as well, and we do see the Pain Train of oRNG. They're invised up, they're going to go for the instant burst on, probably onto a Thiskin. Nope, they changed their minds, they're going after Knight Jr. because Knight Jr. is going for the decap. They're going to jump on him, make sure he cannot get that point. He is going to have to drop quite low just to get to the point, but actually uses a fear into a pin down. Very nice move, but then Tage with the immediate counter immobilize to hold Knight Jr. in place, and he's going to have to try and escape with his life.
He's doing good, but Denchinier is going to sandwich him here. If he's not careful, he is probably going to go down right now. We are going to see Red Team picking up the mid, of course, with Frey picking up that node. They take out Knight Jr. over on that point. And in the end, is Rom still alive? Yes, he is. He's in a position. He's got the banner, and now the Red Team, with that banner ready, if they can come to his aid, you know, they could win this fight as well, but they are over on the blue team respawn position as well, so Knight Jr. is going to be coming out of there. Not yet, because it's still in the down state, and now Rom can advance back onto the point, being so pressurized now onto that node. They're going to have that banner free for that fight over on the henge, of course, as well. Frostball now trying to get some damage over onto Syndrome, but Frostball's going to retreat back through that portal over towards the henge, and it's going to be faster movement for him than the red team member who was trying to focus on. Might think about going back through it, although getting a nice position up there on the kind of ruins, but does get immobilized there by Tage over on the side as he starts to try and focus on him as well.
Yeah, so we are going to see this fight just going on as away from the point now, heading actually towards the mob here. Frostball does get taken down eventually by Cinder. Very nice job by him. Night Junior looks to be the next target. Meanwhile, on their oRNG's home node, they lost that cap to Thiskin. He actually managed to get there and decap it before Dengineer could get there and save him, as the cleave coming out to Frostball is going to make sure that Kara cannot get that kill there. They have actually angered and pulled the Chieftain here, which could prove a bit of a difficulty for either of the team if he gets a nasty knockback out. They are going to try and clean up Kava here though. Gets him off node as well, and this is all very important. They're getting these kills off node. Honey hasn't left the node once and isn't able to, just in case they sneak past her and kill and get the decap. She's moved off now because she knows there are people on respawn and they can cover that, but she is the support for this party. Without her there, they were dropping down very, very quickly.
Orange Logo getting the boss.
do actually clean up the boss during that, and just a lot of cleave. Natural cleave coming on the boss, and oRNG making sure they get the last hit there. It's a nice juicy bit of points for them actually, and you very, very rarely see the boss cleaned up midway through a fight like this.
Yeah, that's very rare, unfortunately, because they've been forced into this kind of area of the map. They've actually lost a lot of caps as well, so even that 25 points doesn't help, but maybe some of the stats did, which actually led them to they're starting to win this fight over here. Frostball goes down, that's a lot of their damage out. Carver's going to probably start to think about moving over towards there as well. Taskin's going to just look after the mine node at the moment. They need to try and get over to this point and support. Honey's quite low herself, and she starts to get quite a lot of defensive movement up as well. A nice pull comes out from Dengineer as well. Honey does dodge it, but in the end doesn't dodge it. I'll just miss that timing there. And she gets so much pressure from Tage and also Syndranir as she gets taken down here. Tons of cleaves comes out from Carver in an attempt to try and keep her up. Rom's quite low as well. The knockback banish comes out from Tage. They pick up the node, but Frostball's already moved to mid. Very 55 HP Monks actually, as he starts to attack the node, which, you know, there is no pressure on at the moment for Red Team. And they can actually defend it quite well. Carver's coming out from behind. He can bunker down on the point. Syndranir actually forced away there. Nice knockback from Frostball as he gets into that Sajo refuge as well.
Oh, but nice blink coming out from Tage as well to make sure that you can use that blink just for the mobility to get up onto the point, drop this ring of warding and try and hold the point. Frostball goes through a portal play but gets burst down by Tage before he can even get through. Luckily, Thiskin was able to get through that, and he is going to be able to defend the mine node here.
No, unlucky for Frostball. There was so many people dying on their portals, and then nice move from Tage just knocking him off the portal. He's not going to use it, but hey ho, you never know. Carver now doing a good job, trying to actually potentially get that decap over on the henge. Rom doing a nice job at dodging that big old bomb that comes out from him, as well as Tage swinging that hammer, trying to get a bit of cleave off. Just as Carver comes back onto the node, this could be slow going for a bit, unless Lucian can come in as well and offer up a bit of damage, which is exactly what Frostball's doing as well, using that Blurred Frenzy as a bit of a defensive maneuver, as well as some extra damage on the point. This team fight potentially could be the actual pinnacle changing of the game if Blue Team can keep it in their favour at the moment. They're only winning by 20 points, but if they can win this team fight, they can really win this matchup. But the problem is, we've got Taskin down over on the other side of the map and need to be very, very careful here. And Honey will definitely be holding onto that side node. Knight Jr. hasn't got the banner up as well. Rom's very low. The mower coming out onto him should put him down. And we've got Tage and Rom in the down state. And this is a big thing to win this fight over here.
Frey's coming in there. Frey does have a banner ready, so if they can keep them both alive just for Frey to get in range, they're just trying to keep them down. Frey is going to get the banner.
Oh no!
Interrupted. Oh, the banner's on cooldown. Will they got to cleave Tage before Frey can get his banner? I think they will, but he will be able to get Ron back up with the banner. So that's at least going to be a small bit of hope for oRNG on this point, and they do have Ron back up, who has his own banner readily at hand.
We didn't see actually Honey going down over on the mine, unfortunately, and also over on the mid we've got Frostball versus Syndranir here as well. So Red Team are actually going to win out in the end over on this game one in the Go4GW2 Cup number 27 in the final between Orange Logo and Salt. Frey should go down here as well. Blue Team should pick up that side node. Look at the points, we're so close at the moment. 4 minutes at the moment left in this game as well. We do see the portal left there by Frostball, who is currently over on the henge actually. They're just making sure they're picking up that node. It's going to drop through there as well just to get the regroup with Knight Jr. as they can push over into the point. If they can pick up this node, this is going to make a big difference, but the point score is so close. Will we see an actual boss kill towards the end to even up things and actually to come back for one of these teams? Still, we've got a bit of time until that happens, as we only have just hit 400 points.
Yeah, as we see Rom actually get hit by that big old bomb there, and plenty of cleave coming out to him. They're going to be able to clean him up. Will Tage be able to get the ring of warding down? He does, but he's trapped Rom inside with the enemy, so that's just encouraging them to cleave him down. They're going to end up losing this point. Thiskin has no cleave on him, but Rom pops the Vengeance. He's going to go for the Vengeance play. Will he be lucky? Is it his lucky day? He is. He gets the Vengeance. Rom is alive. He is not going to jail, and he's certainly not going to heaven or hell just yet because he's still fighting. They're going to be able to hold this cap now. Knight Jr. is not going to be able to hold too long against two Shoutbow Warriors. Sure, they don't have that much damage between them, but they have enough to push him off the node. Calva's come in to try and help the node, but if you look just down below this point, you have both Tage and Syndra who are just chasing down a dead body, so either of them can rotate back in, and it's going to be Tage that comes back in to make sure this point goes in their way, in their favour. All the while, oRNG have lost their caps though. There's only 10 points between the team, and Blue are the only ones ticking up right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, Honey did go down over on that side of the map, so like you said, but they're doing okay over on the mid, although Knight Jr. is going to be stuck here as we go into his perspective. He's got no cooldowns left either, and it's going to be inevitable that he's going to go down here as well. Carver choosing to actually leave that fight and go over towards the mine to 2v1. A really good rotation coming out from Blue, but Syndra knows what's going on, and he's going to come up from behind on Carver and try and take him out now. But Red Team do have the full cap there. We're so close on points as they pick up the 2 cap. We do see over towards the Henge as well. Frey's potentially trying to do something versus 2 players. I'm not too sure what exactly. Frostball is going to go for the early kill on the boss over here on, God Lord, how did I forget the chieftain's name? Sorry, mate. We'll just go back over to the mine now. But if they pick up that kill, it's still not going to be that close. There'll be 75 points, but we need the D cap.
Oh, they get the mower onto Frey, so Frey cannot interrupt getting this chieftain down. They're going to be able to get the chieftain. Now they just need the other one. They need to get that other boss kill.
They're getting the mid decap though. Nice getting the decap. That's great job from him. If they can get the full cap, they can just hold the nodes. But I think oRNG Logo are just going to go for the boss. They're in a great position for that to happen. Are we actually going to see Rom start the engage here? We are. Oh God, here we go. No, we got the red team hitting 500 points anyway. The kills brought it out in the end as well as the combination of the caps coming out. We were so close to the end of the game. I actually thought it was going a bit slower towards 500. A bit disappointed that we didn't have a clutch play on the boss at the end. Oh, I was getting all wound up for that.
Yeah, we got one of them. Frey with a really nice Frostball with a nice mow onto Frey to ensure that they got that first boss kill. Yeah. But sadly, no one was in position to go for that second one. They did get that decap on mid, and maybe if they'd gotten the full cap... no, if they'd gotten the full cap, they would have just lost by fewer points than they did. So, like I said, it were the kills in the end that brought them that victory. They got a couple of kills over on the mine point, which gave them enough points to win. So, congratulations to oRNG, winning a very, very close game. And as I may have hinted at the beginning, we have no idea how this one's going to go, and we still have no idea how this one's going to go. If you ask me now, I will not be able to predict. I'm not Nick.
Oh God, the exact
only he knows
point
who's going to win.
Flying in from helicopter from Germany, we have Kronik.
Who's going to tell us how this ends so we can all be at rest?
Yep, we are going a bit longer today actually, as we do have, of course, a round of 16. We had 15 teams. We all whittled them down to 2 in the end. oRNG Logo on the red team. We have Salt over on the blue team. Your goose is cooked. And like Divok said, we have had a very close first game. Can Salt come back into this? Mesmer being very strong on this map, having that mower, of course, which can really be great on the Lord. The great comeback mechanic, actually, for them if they do get into trouble.
But you see what oRNG have done again. They're back to 2 DPS Guardians.
I'm trying not to look, because I know that it's just going to be something which probably happens, and I'm not going to predict anything until I look at the teams this time. Okay, let's just update the scores as well. And indeed, as you can see on your screen, that's what Tage and now what up Frey has gone back over towards DPS Guardian. And yeah,
they certainly have some good Lord killing potential. Of course, Frostball does the mower, but after that, they usually have Trebex. After that today, they've just got some condition pressure coming out from Thiskin, which can be cleansed pretty easily and isn't necessarily bursty. It's just quite nasty. So sure, you're going to mow the Lord, but then the Lord's not going to really... He's just going to have a bit of a mild headache. Whereas getting hit over the head by 2 Hammer Guardians, that's a bit more than a headache.
One thing that they could do, because they've gone more into DPS oRNG Logo now, they haven't got as much condition cleanse. So at least Taskin's going to be quite good with that kind of Condi burst that he puts out from the grenades, of course. And also, you know, supply crate. They've got a lot of interrupts still. I think they really could be still not too bad. Obviously, not as much burst But the extra Condi pressure from Tayskin can be quite painful. Rom's got the Condi remover, of course, but they haven't got the Elementalist, they haven't got the other Warrior there to get some more, you know, instant kind of healing from the shouts as well as the Condi removal. So it could be okay, but I think you made a good point that, you know, oRNG Logo as well have that extra DPS, so their potential to go for Lord is quite high as well. But
and also their pain train, it's not like it's a DPS Guardian with a Thief and a Mesmer. Thief and Mesmers die to conditions very, very quickly. It's 2 DPS Guardians, which have plenty good Condi cleanse for themselves, especially with Night Condition as well, which turns that into damage. But then they have Team Condi cleanse with their Virtue of Resolve, which they can then refresh with a renewed focus. So if you're facing that condition burst, you've got 2 more Guardians that can cleanse 2 conditions. However, like 2 times if they want to with renewed focus. So they still have quite a good anti-condition lineup here. It's nowhere near as good as 2 Shout Warriors.
As long as
but it's much better than if they had like a Mesmer.
yeah, it's true. As long as they've got those guys in position, hopefully for them. I mean, they normally they are in the right place at the right time to defend that Lord. We've seen it before, obviously. So hopefully they will be in that position. If they're stuck on the other end of the map and we see a portal play coming out, then that will negate them. But I don't know if that's going to happen versus oRNG Logo. That's the only thing. So we're just going to wait for these guys to come back in. It's a very good point about the Virtue, actually. So let's have a look exactly. Oh no, we're going to go straight into the game. Oh, fine. Could have talked about something else, but fine. We'll just talk about the actual game and the game starting. So, last chance for Salt to come back into this and to give us an extra, to actually get these extra 40 points, as the winners will be taking 100 points and the second position 40, as well as 60, sorry, as well as also the cash, which is something I keep neglecting to mention. And you look at blue team moving over into the mid as well now as we move on to, oh no, red team, oRNG Logo actually being very, very defensive. Dropping 2 players over towards the quarry as we see Frostball and Carver coming over here. Probably expecting that push from Frostball. They played against these guys quite consistently. Carver normally going for the end cap as well. There's a lot of pressure comes out to him. He does get knocked back there as well. Needs to be careful. Drops that heal, gets the blast off as well, which is going to regenerate Frostball to a degree. But now he's going to try and get that shared damage off onto the red team as well, but not actually able to. And he's going to have to disengage here. Does stealth and move out there. Survivability is good, but Carver now has to be on point 1v2. Over on the mid, what's going on over there?
Honey got burst down pretty rapidly, but as soon as Knight Jr. and Thiskin realised there was no one coming to their home node, Knight Jr. came over very, very quickly. So he was able to take the point a lot for Honey. She has now been able to regen up, but not through any lack of issues. She had to burst a lot of her defensive cooldowns to get this far, and nearly gave up a lot of the tick points to oRNG, who have since lost them. So oRNG certainly getting the advantage here on this point, as they were getting the advantage on their home node as well. But overall, they are losing. They are 18 points down because, of course, they didn't go for that invade, and it's something that Salt do very, very well is pushing for that far node right from the start, because of course they have Kava, who has a brilliant build for that. We're losing Thiskin on the mid here. He is stuck between 3 people. Cinder is getting cleaved down though. Will he be able to finish him off? They're going for the res. Tage, put your DPS pressure in there, get on top of that point. They've got Frey there as well. The cleave should be phenomenal, but they're actually just backing off. They're choosing to play it a bit safer because they know that they're 2 very, very squishy characters against outnumbered against enemies. Tage is going to fall into the downstate here. They have a lot of cleave on him. I don't think there's going to be a banner for him. He's too low already. And I'm pretty sure it hasn't been spent just yet. No, it hasn't. So Rom does have that banner to expend whenever he pleases, but they only have 1 this game, so maybe he's looking to hold on to it for a bit more of a pivotal moment.
Yeah, we actually saw a nice movement from, as Knight came in, he was ready. He used that Fear Me, and he actually was ready to get that banner off as well. We actually saw him going for the res because he got interrupted. And then from then, we've seen blue team do a great job. They've actually taken Rom down here as well. But the thing is, Tayskin is very low himself. He manages to pop that Elixir S, but the conditions pull him into the down state. Are we going to see a down coming out onto Rom? Not too sure. Knight brings out the banner for Tayskin. They need extra condition pressure. Sorry, they've dropped that big old bomb. It's just in range, which knocks him off node and out of any possibility of oRNG Logo picking up the res. And unfortunately as well, Rodup Frey is down towards the waterfall. Dengineer gets raised here as well, as Rom is Vengeance, of course. Are they going to be able to get the kill? Is he going to be lucky this time? I do not think so. He's actually going to be damaged out completely here. He's still on 2k health. He's going to be punished, unfortunately, in the end. And surprisingly, oRNG logo drop over on that mid fight.
They are moving now towards the waterfall. They're looking to go for the side caps instead this time, maybe fearing the very good AoE support that that Salt do have on the mid node. And this is something we've seen previously, is Honey, when she's on that mid node, offering up that fantastic support to keep her team alive. And Knight Jr. as well, the Shout Warrior, even though the AoE pressure presence isn't quite as obvious, it is definitely there as he's getting chased down by...
to get through that. No! Oh no! So close! You can tell he just just wanted to get through. He's trying to be patient to cleanse those conditions, but in the end he just couldn't do it. He's actually even going to heal, so even if anyone from the blue team can try and get him, I think Frostball will actually potentially try and go for that. But he's starting to move now, but he still needs to try and help over on the waterfall, although that's where Tayskin is now as well. Although he also needs to make sure that that point stays contested over on mid, and even has to cap it, which means he can't move for support that quickly. And we're actually going to see Knight Jr. just bleed out on the side. He's not going to opt for healing himself in the end, as Rom starts to move over towards this waterfall point as well. Whoa! Tayskin goes down in a beastly manner. Wow, that extra burst coming in. Blue team's still picking up the only points in the game, but the pressure really is on the waterfall. And Honey's actually just going to completely move out here. You can see in the distance, Syndra trying to take her down. She goes into the spawn. She can regroup with Knight Jr. to possibly push to mid or over towards the far node.
And there's something that's just occurred to me that we're not seeing from oRNG today. They're not going for the big team fights. They're playing for 2 nodes. They're playing for even 3 nodes at a time. They're not grouping up as much as they were before, and that's partly because they don't have the support they had before. They don't have their elementalists to keep them going. And so they're having to adapt and do this different playstyle, which it seems to be working out for them a little bit, but they're certainly not being able to transition off the kills like they usually do. You can see they're definitely still putting an emphasis on kills, but after those kills they're not transitioning it quite as much as they would, because it's only 2 kills. It's not an entire team wipe.
Yeah, I also think Salt are actually doing a good job on their focus. It's surprising how many of the kills they're actually getting. I mean, obviously, you know, the Elementalist not being there is a big issue. Frostball actually gets up to the top there and walks straight into Tage, unfortunately. Tayskin's walked in with the Elixir S toolbox skill to get the stealth res and then drops the Elixir S as well, but in the end isn't able to get that damage. Look at Tage, just knocks his body down onto the point, away from Tayskin. But Knight Jr. is going to come down onto the point, having a look at his banner to see how long he's got the cooldown. Just wants to get him back up. Frostball's been in the down state for a while, and all this cleave fighting on his body is not going to help Knight Jr. in the long run. He's dropped quite low himself. He has no defensive cooldowns left at all. He has that last Warhorn ability, but then isn't able to get away. Carver's running for his life as well as that Vampirism Prune proc comes out, and luckily gets back into the base, thankfully for him. Oh, actually seen Divok drop from the call here. Just trying to see if we can get him back. I'm not too sure. We are going to start with the rest of the game. I was just waiting for a clever comment from Divok there, but unfortunately it wasn't going to come out there because he's actually not on the call anymore. So you're going to have to deal with me for the rest of the final. Sorry guys. Not sure exactly what's going on, but I think he's dropped out of connection. So this could be the final game, but we do see that the blue team are currently taking it to oRNG logo at the moment. Although they've come back with the 2 cap, Tayskin getting into that 4 skill over on his tool belt there, on his toolkit there, to actually advance over towards mid with Carver, which is going to be a good combination, good double NG combination over on this point, as well as Frostball is over currently on the waterfall now. And he's going to try and, he's just going to distance himself a little bit as he gets support, tiny bit of support and actual pressure from Syndra and Tage here. Needs to be very careful. He's very close to his spawn. He could just pop through, actually, as he's in a little bit of trouble. He will indeed go through there to make sure. Oh no, he gets taken out by that extra burst from Syndra. Doesn't dodge, he wasn't able to dodge through to get through to his respawn. And actually, oRNG logo are really coming back now. We're going to see Denshire dropping quite low over on the midpoint as well as Tayskin comes down with some extra condition pressure. Of course, the engineer has a lot of issues with removing conditions. The res attempt comes out from Frey. Of course, that's not going to be great in the end for him to go for, unfortunately, as well. So over on this point at the moment, then she gets knocked off node, and Frey is not going to be able to do much about it. But there is a man who can. Rom comes in with the wall banner save, and Red Team can push them off this mid node. That's the point in time where I'd pause and Divok would take over. But we're going to go back over towards the waterfall point now as well, while Honey is actually just trying to get the decap here. She's a good person to do that. But Knight Junior and her on the same point. Oh no, it's not looking too bad actually, because Carver can hold that point over on the quarry, and these guys can initiate a big team fight, which actually oRNG Logo are kind of falling for. They've moved towards mid, and I think we'll see Syndra potentially going for the +1 over on the quarry actually, as What Up Frey is trying to take out Tayskin here, and Syndra would be a great addition to this. If it was Carver, it would be a little bit easier because the bombs dropped on point would cause a lot of cleave pressure, which would really put him into a bit of a state. And Tayskin is probably just going to opt. He was going to try and get away here, but I think he should have just stayed on node and kept that point contested as long as he could. But the thing is, blue team have managed to clear up here over on the waterfall point. Tage drops actually, as well as Rom now, so big support missing for the red team. The blue team can actually push right into mid now. We are 6 minutes left in the game. 2 cap in favour of oRNG Logo. They have the lead. They did win the first game over on the Forest, but blue team aren't going to let this get in their way. They want to push over to mid, get the kills quickly, take out Syndra, and then also What Up Frey as he comes into the point as well. Just looking on Frostball's focus at the moment. Actually, Tage comes in behind, gets a nice Scepter 2 down to cleave him out, and actually the Scepter 3 lockdown, and the good damage comes out from Syndra, and the distortion was just a bit too late. It wasn't a corpse still actually as he went down, but no res coming out for him. And we're not actually going to be lucky enough for blue team to take advantage of getting those 2 kills, although Tayskin was down as well. Of course, we're going to see the decap here potentially, maybe an interrupt there, and we are going to see a successful decap there. Good job. As we move back over towards the waterfall, Tayskin is going to probably be okay for a little bit of time versus What Up Frey. He's able to drop a lot of conduit pressure on the point as well, getting a nice knockback with that healing sight if he should so choose in future. Of course, Frostball dropping that portal there as well, as we see him move towards far for the blue team to try and get this point in their favour. Honeys does a nice knockback to get Tage off node, which means they can solidify their position over on this point. Red team still... Oh, we did see the decap over on the far, because Syndra +1 that fight. That's a good position. A good thing for Syndra to do actually, to get that damage onto the node quickly so they can pick up that qualler easily. And now we will see oRNG Logo pick up the 2 nodes. We also see Honey move into the position of going for that gate to make sure that they can potentially go for a Lord Rush if they so should choose. As we go into the perspective over on the mid of Denshi, is just dropping those grenades on top of the node at the moment just to make sure, just for extra pressure, just in case they think about actually coming into the midpoint. Frostball's in a real awkward position now, probably going to drop that portal. If I was him, that is exactly what I'd do, using that distortion to get some line of sight. Unfortunately, not getting it off in the end. Not too sure why he wasn't able to do that. He was trying to get a bit of line of sight there, but unfortunately unable to in the end. Tayskin going for the respawn there, as well as Honey holding over on the quarry. Now 5 points left. Holding onto that node does of course solidify their chances of going for that chance to go for that Lord Rush, and I do believe I have a Divok back.
You do have a Divok back. Apologies for the disconnect there.
All good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
You're doing well.
Apparently the Welsh weather doesn't like my internet connection, so that happened. But I'm back.
Good stuff. I might leave the Skype call for now because I'm not sure if that's going to actually arrange itself well enough for when we come back, so they can't see our faces again.
Yeah.
But it's all good. It's all good. So at the moment, still a chance for red team. Are actually going to push for Lord straight away. Just lost that. Apologies as we try to get Divok back in the room there. Just dropping onto the perspective of Syndra, as we've seen come back into the Lord's perspective. And he's down to about 50% HP already, really powering ahead on the damage. There's no way that blue team are going to be able to stop this. And that's what happens when you have that great combination. Oh, actually have What Up Frey, Rom and Syndra there. And the blue team were going for the Lord kill themselves. You just came in right at the end there, mate.
Yeah, no, I got here just for the second the Lord died. That was good timing.
We're off now, though.
I'm back, guys.
Sorry, I was just as he did reconnect, I was just sorting out a couple of things, and then we'd just kind of miss the Lord Rush at the end of the day, unfortunately. Sorry about that, guys, but we'd pick it up at the important time, which was the kill and the win for oRNG Logo, which means that they are going to go through to nothing as they win the final, or potentially the WTS qualifiers. As my
yeah, they have 100 points to their names for the ESL monthly now, so that's.
They got 400 euros.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
400 euros is decent. Yeah. It's more than I'm getting paid.
That is a point. Okay, so we did indeed see those guys pick up 100 Go4 points and 400 euros. We saw Assault picking up 60 points, 100 euros, and 2,000 gems a player, which is nothing. Which is pretty good, actually. 2,000 gems is quite a lot. And then we saw third position. Not sure what's going on with that game. That game will be played. You'll be able to see that on the brackets later, unless it's being played at the moment. Might be able to see potential result there. No, it's not. So it's going to be leaderboard over life versus rank 55 Dragons. So, this has been the ESL Go4GW2 Cup number 27, the 1st of May. And this means that we have another 3 weeks or so to look forward to see who's going to go through to the WTS qualifiers, which is an invitational, of course. That's going to be 8 teams. We're going to see the top 8 teams in the mini league going through to that. We still have tons of time left for that, of course, to change. TCG being a notable team that aren't here this week and will most likely be back quite soon. So they can participate as well. But otherwise, we saw a ton of new teams today, actually. Tons.
Yeah, we had 15 teams, of which only a couple of them were regulars. And even the ones that we do recognise, such as 55 Ranked Dragons, aren't 55 HP monks. They're not the same thing. There's only 2 players from the old 55 HP monks that are in that team. So even some of the teams we do know are completely different to what they used to be. In fact, there's, what, 4 teams that we usually see, 4 or 5 teams that we usually see. And everything else was kind of new, so all old in the terms in such as Chaos Army. So it'd be nice to see these guys keep coming back, and indeed do keep coming back. And you guys out there, you guys can keep coming too. This is open tournament. I'm pretty sure, nearly 100% sure this is a completely open tournament. So you guys can get yourself some teams together and get some lovely gems or llamas or whatever you want, so long as you put the time and effort in.
And that's completely correct. So make sure you join us next week for the next round of the EU Cup. But also join we've got Storm and Hurix actually casting the NA Cup today as well. So that's on later. Make sure you check out the Guild Wars 2 global page as well for all the info. We do have the monthly coming up for NA and EU on Wednesday. We have Divok with the 2v2s on Tuesday.
Yep. That's
rough time.
7 PM GMT BST, so it's 8 PM CEST. I
Awesome.
believe is when the tournament starts, and I will be casting the semi-finals and finals of those. So if you're a 2v2 group that just want to try your hand at a tournament and don't necessarily want to be on the big screen, don't worry about it. We only do the semi-finals and finals of those. So please come along. It's good fun. You, like Jebro said, you can find that on the Guild Wars 2 global page for the ESL stuff.
And even I came second in that once.
There you go. Anyone can do it, apparently.
Exactly. Double NG team, man. It was OP. Tayskin helping me out there to get me to the 2nd position. Good job from him. Nice to see him back in today, and nice to see a lot of good players back in the scene. Guys, we'll see you very soon. Stay tuned to the Twitter pages for ESL, also the Facebook page as well. Make sure you go follow that, and also make sure you follow ourselves at Jebdan and also at Divok, but with a 0 instead of the O. We will see you very soon, guys. Take care, and do not forget to follow the Guild Wars 2 channel, because there are a ton of changes coming soon. See you very soon, people. See you very soon. Yes.
And I shall salute in chat.
Oh, yes.
Goodbye.
Oh, no. I can't salute. I'll salute somewhere else. See you later, guys. Take care. Thanks for joining us.